Hey everyone, it is Monday, January 8th, 2018, and it's time to go to work on music. It is officially the start of the year here, and we are officially back in the groove, which is pretty exciting. It's been a really good day, I'm in a great place, and excited for a productive session as usual. So, gonna hit the online class front, update you guys with what I'm doing there. Gonna do a super light guitar practice, probably keep that pretty easy, and then jump into the production front and maybe do some more takes for the final chorus section of this first tune I've been working on for a while now, and probably do some writing for a fill that's going to connect the first chorus to the second verse. And then the drums are going to be done for that song once those things are tracked, which is pretty exciting, assuming there's no edits to do later. And then I can just start zooming out to the big picture on that song and thinking about effects editing and different transitions and stuff like that, which I might wait on until I've tracked all the other tunes, actually. I think that could be valuable. Then I'm going to take a break and then dive back into the production front, start working on this new tune again, and polish up the bridge section. I got some new ideas for that last night, which I'm pretty excited about, so I'm going to go with that. And then hopefully sketch out the final chorus and maybe even have a rough arrangement for that tune done by the end of the day, which would be pretty epic. I think the next step after that is going to be guide vocals, and then possibly some more edits, then probably final vocals, and then drums, or maybe drums and then final vocals. I'm not sure what the best move is going to be there, but I'm excited. This second tune is coming together exponentially faster than the first one did, so that gives me a lot of hope for the next two tunes and some of the ambient stuff that I'm going to put on this record. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let me know if you have any thoughts as we go. Otherwise, let's get right into it. All right, excellent first half of the day. Perfect balance of like rest and integration and like mental learning time, and then physical learning and conditioning for today. And I hit the online class front, just doing some more review of my music business class, the Online Musician, Savvy Musician Academy, same thing. And the main takeaway from that is I was just going through the section on brand and what your brand is, and one of the best takeaways from that class for me has been your brand is an experience. It's not a logo, it's not even your music or your what you do, like your t-shirts or something like that. It's an experience. It's when people think of your music or you personally or your business or whatever it is, when people think of that, how do they feel and what do they think? That's your brand. It's your customers or your fans or other people's experiences, which is such a beautiful way of thinking about it to me. I love that. So that was great. I from there was gonna jump into a guitar practice, but I was feeling just like kind of taking it a little easier, so I went further in the Benny Greb Art and Science of the Groove DVD, and he was talking about what time really is, and he argues that time is not the notes you're actually playing, it's how far apart each note is. It's the space or silence in between the notes. That's what creates pulse or time or tempo. And what metronomes do is they just make that space between pulses perfectly the same every single time, or exactly the same every single time. So he talked about an exercise of getting on and just playing some notes somewhere and not worrying about sound or motion or anything like that, but just thinking about the space in between. So I jumped on the kit and started playing around with that, and it was cool. It was kind of a deep thing. It's like thinking about how atoms are like 90% empty space or something, and you look around and you're just like, whoa, what is matter, dude? Like, I can feel it, I can touch it, I experience it as solid, but in reality, it's like most of it is not even there, which is pretty crazy. So I was kind of going a little deep there, and I was like, all right, I think that's enough for today. So I'll think about that more and go through the DVD more, but it was cool. Then I started working on the tune, this third chorus part that just was, it was okay, the takes that I had, but they weren't great, honestly. So I went back in, and something that Steve Vai was talking about was really interesting at Vai Academy this year. I asked him, is he ever counting in his head when he's performing or recording? And he said no. It's only if he's practicing, and until he really owns it, he just works on a part, and then he just goes in and he's just tries to be completely present with whatever he's playing. And the only thing he's not really thinking anything, he's just there with his pure awareness focused on the part. So I was like, you know what, let me play around with that and see what kind of results I get. So I did a couple takes of the part just with that kind of state of mind, or my best attempt at that state of mind, just pure awareness, no thinking, just kind of focusing on my breathing or just singing the part or focusing on the part itself. Then I did a couple takes counting, where I was 1, 2, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, counting it out in my head as I would probably do like 4 or 5 years ago was kind of my approach to recording then and performing, at least on the drums. And then what I did is I took the click track out. So both those first two things were with the click. I took the click track out, did one with the pure awareness thing, or a few takes, and then kept the click track out, did one with just counting, and then I did one final take with just like the 4 things I've sort of been focusing on recently before I went to the camp, which is counting in my head, focusing on my body awareness and alignment, listening, and the emotion of the track, like trying to get all those 4 things to come together in one focused, focusing on all 4 of those things at the same time, if that makes sense. And yeah, I'll listen back tomorrow and see what the difference is and try to make a judgment call about which approach is best. I mean, the thing about that is like I'm getting more fatigued as I go through, right, as doing those takes, so the timing of those takes is different. Also, I have more experience by the later takes, right? So like the third set of takes, I had already done 4 or 5 takes 2 different ways and kind of had a chance to feel out the track, right? So I want to try to maintain my objectivity as much as possible, but I think those types of experiments are going to be the way that I refine my approach and try to get as much confidence as possible in that, okay, I'm doing this the optimal way. At the very least, I'll develop a couple different options just in case I want to utilize those in the future. So really, really productive. I'm really excited. I feel like that going down there and coming back and bringing all that information back into the practice room and into my workflow and stuff is just like, this is what it's all about. I just love improving. I love getting better. I love really working on my approach and my playing and my technique and my emotional delivery and all that stuff, and just becoming the musician I want to be. That's the most fulfilling thing, that creative process of just becoming the person who I want to be. So I'm doing it. So I'm going to take a break and dive back in a few. All right, excellent second half of the session, just much shorter than I would have liked it to be, and that was the result of a couple things. I got a late start on the day because I got a little extra sleep last night because I was feeling a little physically compromised, so I wanted to make sure that I gave my body a chance to fight off whatever was going on with that. And also I just took a little more chill time during my break and during the second half of the session, just like watching inspirational content and on the business side, which is great, but I want to find the right balance for that, and I think if I had had a little bit longer in the second half of the session, that would have helped a lot. And I think I'm pushing a lot of stuff to the second half of the day, so I'm working on some really cool sound effects and different transitions and variations and really fun stuff with the arrangement for this tune. So that can be kind of time intensive, like editing and searching for sounds and things like that. And so I just want to give myself a little more time to flesh out the arrangement on this one. So what I might do tomorrow is just focus exclusively on this new tune for the whole day and just try to get as far and deep down the arrangement path as I possibly can, maybe knock that out, and then be able to put some guide vocals down and start working on the drums and finalized parts and stuff like that the next day as I come back to the drums on this new tune. So I'm going to sleep on that. I'll let you guys know what I decide. But overall, fantastic day. Definitely on the shorter side, which is funny because like midway through the session or early in the session, I'm always like, how am I going to make it through this time? You know, it's so long. But honestly, once I get in the zone, it's just like time flies. So it's a good reminder. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Hope you guys are out there grinding towards your goals, enjoying the process. That's what I'm out here doing. And I'm really having fun in the creative zone with this new track, and it's just so awesome to be coming up with fresh ideas and experimenting with different textures and sounds and just enjoying the process, like I always say, and having fun with it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow for more. Can't wait.